This video is a continuation of my last video going into Fashion Diva, and the related games surrounding it. This video is meant to explain what happens in that video, so if you haven't watched it already, I highly recommend doing so. Did you watch it yet? God, bro, just go and watch it already, please! I swear to God! So before we dive into the theory crafting, I feel like I should mention that during the editing of my initial video, Daycare received a bunch of updates. Like a bunch of updates. Bro, it literally just got updated the day I'm writing this script. What the fuck? The updates just expanded the game and made the scope of it bigger. From what I can assume and theorize here is that the creator Clean Mean Bean didn't expect the game to get as popular as it did, as its main purpose was to tie into the Fashion Diva mystery. But of course, they wanted to capitalize on its sudden success, and decided to constantly update it. One change that kinda sucks, for the theory at least, is that the developer had to change the testing chambers, so now they use lasers to inflict the effects on patients, because Roblox moderators don't like gas chambers. Understandably so. Regardless, this doesn't impact the Fashion Diva lore at all, but I felt like I should have mentioned it. With that being said, here is the lore of Fashion Diva explained. So the story starts in Clean's runway and avatar editor. Now, who is Clean exactly? Why, the creator Clean Mean Bean, of course, not to be confused with the group Clean Mean Beans. Anyway, my theory is that Clean's Runway was just supposed to be a simple fashion and runway show game for the average Roblox player to enjoy, evidenced by the lack of organization for the clothing and accessories and the lack of any automated events that force a show to happen. So the game leaned more into roleplay in that aspect. Now, the fact that the advertisement in the warehouse just exists, we can assume that Clean, the owner of the runway, struck some sort of deal with the advertisers, which we now know as the people that run Fashion Diva and the daycare. Maybe the creator and the company merged together, which could explain why the main room in Clean's Runway and Fashion Diva look virtually identical. That could also explain why the group that developed Fashion Diva is called Clean Mean Beans, plural. With the two entities unionized, all they needed now were contestants, specifically young children who didn't have a family, didn't have friends, or really anyone to contact. These were the qualifications that the people in charge of the surveys were looking for. Once the criteria was met, the children that were interviewed were sent to the daycare and were welcomed in by the scientists. But little did the children know that this daycare was anything but. At random, children were taken by the scientists by force and thrown into the testing chambers. The scientists pushed a few buttons, and suddenly this maroonish purple colored gas started to envelop the test subject. It didn't take long before the subject lost any free will that was remaining. They walked in random directions and they all shared the same goal: to be a fashion icon. The mindless husks of children were then sent to Fashion Diva to roam the customization halls, to browse the houses of clothing, to spectate endless amounts of runway shows, and they would be stuck in this loop forever. All these children, except for one. Now, we don't know the name of this person, so let's just call her Bean. Bean was just like the other children, taken in, lured by false promises and the dream of stardom. But she was special. Even though she had become a bot, her mind was kept intact. She was still self-aware, and she, along with the others, wanted to break free. Whether it be her unrelenting spirit or the fact she tried to teleport out, her consciousness was spread apart, allowing her to leave messages for us to find. But for us to see these messages, she needed a gateway. Us. It is with her face on our character that allows us to see the messages, and these messages reveal even more about her dilemma, especially this one. I am the trails, I am the textures, I am the trees, I am the blocks, I am the text, I am the bots. I am stuck saying the same thing. This tells us that not only was Bean's consciousness spread around Fashion Diva, but her soul as well. Her soul was trapped inside everything. That explains why we found secret messages in the description of both Fashion Diva and the group page of Clean Mean Beans. She wanted us to find them. As big as a revelation this is, there are still parts of the story that are unanswered. Back in Clean's runway, there is some police tape around the doorway to the warehouse, possibly hinting to the fact that Clean's runway was abandoned. The authorities caught on to what was happening to these children and shut the place down. However, Clean's runway still exists, in the form of the Dark World. When asking if there are any bots, any unsuspecting victims would be transported there, but Bean's soul still lingers. Before anyone knew too much, Bean made sure to stop them. But if you're fast enough, you get taken to the survey, and Bean gives you one final warning to turn back. But it's too late. You get sent to the daycare, you get taken by the scientist, you become a bot, and you get sent back to Fashion Diva with your soul forever trapped inside your own mindless body. There's no happy ending, and no one can hear you scream. Now, all of this is, of course, just a game, but these series of events eerily relate to the child fashion model industry in real life. Many, many stories of children as young as 13 years old, sometimes even younger, being thrust into the fashion model industry, flown overseas away from their family into foreign territory. These models would be overworked, exploited, manipulated, turned into a pawn by their agency. And it is no doubt that these stories and the corruption of the child fashion model industry is what inspired the mystery of Fashion Diva. This game and the two related experiences are an allegory for what these young kids go through. False promises and manipulation to the point of non-autonomy. You were just the average Roblox player that stumbled upon this game through some rumors, and with some digging, discovered that this girl and all the other bots needed you to help them escape. But how could you? You can't go against the system. You can either work with it or become a victim of it. And no matter what path you go down, one phrase will still ring true no matter where you are. I'm a fashion icon. And that, as of now, is the full story of Fashion Diva. Hey, thanks for watching all the way through. It means a lot. A couple things I want to mention here. I want to thank you all so much, because as of recording this voiceover, my channel just hit 4,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. Literally just 3 days ago, I was at 1,000. That's pretty cool. Another thing, unless Clean Mean Bean updates Fashion Diva, this will be my last video on the topic. Related to that, unless there's a compelling enough Roblox game to cover similar to Fashion Diva, I probably won't be uploading more Roblox anytime soon. I know a majority of my subs subscribe to me because of Roblox, but if you want, go check out my other videos. They may not be very well structured or as coherent as this one, but I enjoyed making them, and it's more of me that you get to see. With that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next video.